time, especially in a relationship, things tend to fade. So
Hmm.
even the love, even the brain. So you should be with someone who, when things get tough, you still find him attractive, or you still find her attractive when she's naked. Because relationship, sometimes you just ask yourself, what am I even doing here? What did I even see in this person? So when
Hmm.
the attraction is not even there, just brain, you find yourself in a relationship where you don't get to touch your partner, you don't want your partner to touch you because the attraction is not there. You start going out to want to satisfy that need, but then when you need the cracking of the brain, you now return back to your partner. That's not what I want. That's why I'll just pick both. I might not have it 100% both ways, but let's do 60-40, 50-50 or so.
All
So
right.
that is
Let
just a
me
big
let
book.
me let me start and read where I got this post from. Apparently on Instablog earlier on today, an actress or an actor, I don't know why women like being called actors today. Growing up, they were actresses, but hey, whatever they like to call themselves, um, said, do not use your wife, your future wife, do ipapanu. Ipapanu means like small chops or like snack
Okay.
in Yoruba. Some men are suffering today because they use their real God sent woman to do ipapate simply because she's not as tush as you want or her shape is not presentable. Her skin color is not your choice. Brain makes woman. Talk to that deadly inferiority complex in you. After four pikin coke bottle shape go still turn to a maladudu shape. When money finish and poverty walks in with his full band boys. That was what she posted.
Hmm.
And let me adjust my chair. Here's what I have to take. Lizzy is somebody I love and respect, but doesn't mean I have to agree with her 100%. And in this particular instance, I find this very um, relative and subjective. Um, Someone said beauty will not solve children assignment. You see, there is reality and there is, or should I break it down into simpler terms? There are how things are and how things should be.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I gave three examples from the Bible. First example is David and Bathsheba. What attracted David to Bathsheba? Bathsheba was having a bath, and David happened to be on his roof at the time when she was having a bath. Oh, yes, he paid for it dearly because her husband had to die at the hand of David. David also lost their first child. He was punished. But at the end of the day, the next king that came out of David's loins was Bathsheba's son, Solomon. So, where wisdom failed, all the wise women, remember, David had a very wise wife. Apparently, she was married to somebody else too. And let me even he David literally promised Bathsheba the kingdom. So when Adonijah declared himself king, Bathsheba went with the prophet to go and meet David. I said, Baba, nobody asked we talk this thing with this. So why is Adonijah king? Do you get? And in all honesty, Adonijah was in line for the throne. So how did Bathsheba win David? How? The attraction was physical. There was not a woman is batting. Can you see her brain? Was she washing her brain? No, Ada, we need to discuss these things. We need
Right.
to do. People neglect these things too much, so we're confused. And somebody will say, yeah, listen, brain is important, but a woman is a total package. Who you don't see those girls on Instagram that will be twerking and wriggling? Are you listen, yeah. I'm someone who likes having intellectual conversations. And I'm lucky I am with a woman who has the ability to have intellectual conversations. I am very lucky. Let me tell you, yeah, the kind of doctrine I teach, if you are not on a certain level intellectually and spiritually, you will leave me. Your parents will come and carry you from my house. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I believe that you cannot have a spirituality unless you base it on knowledge. And for you to have knowledge, you must be deep. You must be ready to study. You must be ready to open your mind. You know? And it's one of the things that I find very fascinating in taste buds. So, in this particular issue, I could have, like everybody else, just jumped out and said, okay, yeah, brains, but I'll be hypocritical. Ada, I want you to read, I want you to join me in this. Okay. Please. I'm so sorry. I want you to read, this is Bible.
Alright.
All right. 1 Kings chapter 1 and verse 1. 1 Kings chapter 1 and verse 1. Please help me with it, Ada.
Okay. Slowly.
Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get a better angle for you two. Okay. 1 Kings chapter 1 verse 1. Very loud.
Yeah. King David was now very old, and no matter how many blankets covered him, he could not keep warm. So his advisors told him, let us find you a young virgin to wait on you and look after you, my lord. She will lie in your arms and keep you warm.
Continue.
Right? Okay. So they searched throughout the land of Israel for a beautiful girl, and they found Abishag from Shunem and brought her to the king. The girl was very beautiful, and she looked after the king and took care of him. But the king had no sexual relations with her. About that time...
So it's okay. Where you read to is enough. 1 Kings chapter 1, verse 1 to verse 1 and 2. Right?
Yeah.
They went to look. David was old to the point where he was at the point of his death. And they still had to go and look for a beautiful girl for him. Why was the emphasis on beautiful? I'm asking you. Meaning that even in old age on his dead bed, Papa know waiting good. Why didn't they go around looking for a wise woman? You don't know. You see, Ada, you don't know what Abishag caused inside the kingdom. You don't know what, if you know what Abishag caused inside the kingdom after David's death. You will read small Bible again today. Please don't be angry. Forgive me, Ada.
You've been forgiven.
You're enjoying the story, Sha, anyway.
Okay.
So, now I told you the story about how Adonijah declared himself king, and then David now made Solomon king. So Adonijah was afraid that Solomon was going to kill him. So Adonijah went to grab the horns of the bull at the altar, and eventually Solomon forgave him. I'm just trying to, because I don't want you to read all this plenty Bible. I just want to gist you this part. Now jump with me to 1 Kings chapter 2. Somebody say, I don't go read Bible tired today. I don't know waiting when I enter. 1 Kings chapter 2.
Okay.
From verse 13 to, is a long read, please, but just bear with me. Okay, you know what? You will read from 13 to 18, then I'll take over from 19.
All right.
Oh yeah, read.
One day Adonijah, whose mother was Haggith, came to see Bathsheba, Solomon's mother. Have you come with peaceful intentions? She asked him. Yes, he said, I come in peace. In fact, I have a favor to ask of you. What is it? She asked. He replied, as you know, the kingdom was rightfully mine. All Israel wanted me to be the next king. But the tables were turned, and the kingdom went to my brother instead. For that is the way the Lord wanted it. So now I have
just one favor.
To ask of you. Please don't turn me down. What is it? She asked. He replied, speak to King Solomon on my behalf, for I know he will do anything you request. Ask him to let me marry Abishag, the girl from Shunem. All right, Bathsheba replied, I will speak to the king for you. So Bathsheba went to King Solomon to speak on Adonijah's behalf. The king rose from his throne to meet her, and he bowed down before her. When he sat down on his throne again, the king ordered that a throne be brought for his mother, and she sat at his right hand.
Continue. I'm enjoying your reading.
Go back to you, please.
Continue. You cannot miss the sweetness.
Oh, wow. All right, 20. I have one small request to make.
Small request.
I hope you won't turn me down. What is it, my mom? He asked.
You know I won't refuse you.
Refuse you. Then let your brother Adonijah marry Abishag, the girl from Shunem. She replied. How can you possibly ask me to give Abishag to Adonijah? King Solomon demanded. You might as well ask me to give him the kingdom. You know that he is my older brother, and that he has Abiathar, the priest, and Jacob, son of Zuriah, on his side. Then King Solomon made a vow before the Lord. May God strike me and even kill me if Adonijah has not sealed his faith with this request. The Lord has confirmed me and placed me on the throne of my father David. He has established my dynasty as he promised. So as surely as the Lord lives, Adonijah will die this very day. So King Solomon ordered Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, to execute him, and Adonijah was put to death.
Now, what?
Okay.
These are two brothers, oh.
Yeah.
Because of this beautiful girl, brother kill brother.
I think it had something to do more with the throne.
Which throne? He had already lost the throne. Adonijah did not contest the throne with him. Do you know how much David loved women? I mean, I said David, Solomon. Solomon had 1,000 women in his life. Baba offend them because I did that babe. When Papa no touch. That one went and said, please, forgive me, as you don't collect kingdom. Make it not be like say at all. Just give me this Abishag. Make I use and settle myself. Ori Solomon he everywhere scatter say, hey, you for ask for the kingdom now. And guess what? He promised his mother that anything she asked for, he will do.
Yeah.
The moment they mention Abishag, he scattered everything, went to kill his brother immediately. When the brother declared himself king, he did not kill the brother. But the moment the brother opened his mouth and asked for the most, for them to get Abishag, if you read Hebrew texts outside the Bible,
Okay.
it was almost like a beauty pageant was conducted. She was the fairest woman in the whole of the kingdom. Everybody I did there. I don't think I lose throne. He still won't come back and collect babe. I'm going somewhere else with this. Don't worry, Ada, you've read enough. Let me to read now. Before your mouth starts to pain you. Let's read Genesis chapter 29. I'm reading from verse 17 and verse 18. This is Jacob. There was no sparkle in Leah's eyes, but Rachel had a beautiful figure and a lovely face. Since Jacob was in love with Rachel, he told her father, I will work for you for 7 years if you give me Rachel, your younger daughter, as my wife. What made Jacob work for 7 years? Is it brain? The answer is there. She had a beautiful face and a lovely figure. Beauty plus sexiness. Baba worked 14 years. He worked for 7 years. They give her Leah. He no want. He already worked another 7 years for that one where he face fine in body curve. You see, there are many parts of these scriptures that people jump in their hypocrisy. I'll read you some other parts. When he finished the 7 years, make I show you how Jacob take go harass Laban. Say, give me my wife. Just hang on.
Okay.
Sorry. So we need to discuss this. So when we are addressing this, we are not going to be hypocritical. So Genesis 29. Okay. Verse 20.
All right.
Okay. So Jacob worked 7 years to pay for Rachel, but his love was so strong that it seemed to him but a few days. Finally, make you hear this gist. The time came for him to marry her. I have fulfilled my agreement, Jacob said to Laban. Now give me my wife so I can sleep with her. Is inside Bible like that? Baba, they on top Konji for 7 years. They say it was like 7 minutes. Say Konji scatter Baba. The day the 7 years complete, like this, Baba go lock Laban. Say, Baba, give me my wife.
You're not nice, Daddy, please.
Eh?
You're not nice.
Give me my wife. Let me go and bench. They will not read this part to you. Now, let me take you a little bit further here. But that night, when it was dark, Laban took Leah to Jacob and he slept with her. As in, Konji don't hold Baba so they don't know the difference. Don't take her and toy her. Now, next morning, I wake up when Konji clear. Now I realize, say, hey, they don't carry Kon, they give me you. But that night, it was dark. Laban took Leah to Jacob and he slept with her. Laban had given Leah a servant, Zilpah, to be her maid. But when Jacob woke up in the morning, after Valentine night cruise, the whole cruise, Jacob cruised the whole night, can't wait for more. That's when he realized that, hey, oh my goodness, sugar. It was Leah. Then he went to meet Laban. He said, what have you done to me? I worked 7 years for Rachel. Why have you tricked me? Laban can't calm up now and say, bros, calm down. It is not our custom to marry off a younger daughter ahead of the firstborn. But wait until the bridal week is over. Then we'll give you Rachel too, provided you promise to work another 7 years for me. So Jacob agreed to work 7 more years. A week after Jacob married Leah, Laban gave Rachel to him too. So some people think that Jacob worked for 10 years before he got Rachel. No, he got her 1 week after Leah. You did not know this part. So, a week after Jacob married Leah, Laban gave him Rachel too. So Jacob slept with Rachel too, and he loved her much more than Leah. What made him love her more than Leah? After he slept with her and he enjoyed the banging boom, is there. Ada, please read Genesis 29.
We have just 2 more minutes.
Okay, just read Genesis 29, verse 30.
Okay.
As you are going.
29, 30. Loading. Okay. Genesis 29, 30.
Yes.
Why is this? No, hold on. Okay. So Jacob slept with Rachel too, and he loved
Louder. I did not hear what you said.
So Jacob slept with Rachel too, and he loved her.
He slept with her, and what now happened?
Slept with her too,
And
he loved her much more than Leah.
He loved her much more than Leah because she was more intelligent.
She was pretty. She had a nice figure.
And then she was also, you are missing the part I want you to get. After he slept with her was when he loved her more than Leah.
After. He just loved her.
Read verse. You read this verse 10 times until you understand it.
He slept with Rachel too, and he loved her much more than Leah.
After he slept her, he loved her more. She was like Esther. She had the anointing of Esther.
That's not what the men said.
The anointing of Esther. Some people say Kayamata, and let me tell you, for Leah to match up with Rachel, she had to use Kayamata.
Whoa.
Oh yes.
Okay, Daddy, please, it's 12 o'clock. It's time for you to go.
Ada, I wish you could give me 5 more minutes. Let me just clear this.
Daddy, please, pots did not eat into your time today.
Okay, whatever. Whatever. All right, bye. See y'all tomorrow.
Okay, Daddy, please. Bye.
Bye.
Whoa, it's that bench. Good night.
All right, guys. I might just take 5 more minutes with you guys since this topic is so sweet. I'm a man and I don't fool myself. Let me tell you, no matter how much you can marry you can marry a woman who doesn't know how to cook and still survive the marriage. Because you can eat, you can cook for yourself, option 1, you can get a cook, option 2, you can eat out, option 3, you can buy takeaway, option 4. Taste Buds can arrange a meal plan for you listen. Taste Buds has some clients that every Sunday they just buy 10 liters of fried stew, 10 liters of afang, 10 liters of this. For 2 weeks, they are okay. 20 grilled wings, 20 Turkish wings. They are okay for 2 weeks. As the husband is coming home, they will serve him afang today with eba. They can turn eba. For you not to be able to turn eba in this life, you are hopeless. No, turning eba is like making cornflakes. The difference is not much. So, turn eba, join with the afang. That boiled rice, pour that sauce on top of it. Your husband will eat and be satisfied. Now, if a woman is not intelligent, by not intelligent, I mean she cannot cope with the free nation doctrine. There's a level of intelligence you have to have before you can understand our doctrine. or she cannot have a conversation with you on relativity or dark matter or one of those technical issues. No problem. I don't mean dumb. You know, there are some women that are dumb that all you need to do is just tell them a few things. Pastor, they see those ones catch well. As long as she's not dumb, even if she's not supernaturally intelligent, you can still cope. If she looks like Rachel and has the anointing of Esther, a man can manage any other thing in a woman. It is the lack of those things. You people will be reading this Bible. The people that wrote Proverbs, the people that wrote Psalm, the people that wrote Ecclesiastes, you'll be thinking they are angel. Is it David that saw a woman without clothes in whole life scatter? Or Solomon that killed his own brother because of woman? Or Jacob that worked for 7 years that looked like 7 days unto one woman, and the day he finished the work, he went to lock labor and say, Baba, give me this babe, make I go bench. How do you get to the point where you're also hypocritical? Your husband will marry you for that braid, but trust me, he gonna cheat on you with Rihanna. Ask Jigga. Or what do you think that fight in the elevator was about? And luckily, Beyonce is even curvy and beautiful. You see, what I've realized about us Christian folk is we've gotten to a point where hypocrisy has taken over. Did you guys ever read about Esther? Did you read about, let me read to you about Esther so you guys understand. Esther chapter 2, I'm reading from verse 12. Before each young woman was taken to the king's bed, she was given the prescribed 12 months of beauty treatment. Why are they giving you beauty treatment? Are they washing your brain? What was beauty treatment? Does beauty treatment include brain? 6 months with oils of myrrh, followed by 6 months with special perfumes and ointments. When it was time to go to the king's palace, she was given her choice of whatever clothing or jewelry she wanted to take from the harem. That evening, she was taken to the king's private rooms, and the next morning she was brought to the second harem where the king's wives lived. There she will be under the care of Shashgaz, the king's eunuch, in charge of the concubines. She will never go again unto the king unless he had especially enjoyed her and requested her by name. So unless the king enjoyed her, they dress you up for 6 months. They use 6 months to purify you and make you look beautiful. What enjoyment is the king going to have? Are you people going to solve calculus? Are you going to show the king how to use Google Maps on his iPhone? What do you people want to do that he wants to enjoy? Read it by yourself. Esther chapter 2, read from verse 12. A lot of people are saying beauty is not everything, beauty is not everything, beauty is not everything. Beauty was what guaranteed Solomon his father's kingdom. You think Bathsheba went there with brain? The ones with brain had failed. They had tried. They were there, brilliant women, intelligent, wise. All Bathsheba needed to do was to bath. That bath, she gave David striptease. From there on, David rearranged the whole kingdom. So till the person waiting in line for the kingdom die. Taste buds is saying beauty is relative. Everybody should find what's beautiful for him. That's agreed. That's very important. I want to take you somewhere else before we go. Now, in Esther chapter 2, if you read from verse 16, it says, Esther was taken to the king at the royal palace in early winter of the 7th year of his reign. And the king loved Esther more than any of the other young women. He was so delighted with her. What did they do that he was delighted with her? She spent the night with him and he was delighted with her. That calculus that they solved, that preach that she preached to him all night must have been so delightful to the king. He was so delighted with her that he set the royal crown on her head and declared her queen instead of Vashti. A lot of people tell you it's favor, it's favor. Go and read about Esther and how she was specially groomed, specially clean. She was taught everything she needed to know and everything she needed to do to get the king to scatter his brain. All the kayamata, everything. I want to read somewhere for you. Where Esther was handed over. As a result of the king's decree, Esther, along with many other young women, was brought to the king's harem at the fortress of Susa and placed in Heggai's care. Heggai was very impressed with Esther and treated her kindly. He quickly ordered a special menu for her and provided her with beauty treatment. He also assigned 7 maids specially chosen from the king's palace, and he moved her and her maids into the best place in the harem. So, Esther was a brilliant young girl, smart, but she also knew what to do to get the king. She also knew what to do to get the king. Now, so here is my honest opinion. I was fortunate to counsel a celebrity couple one day. Very just fortunate. And they had been having trouble in their home because the wife had been too busy to attend to the husband's needs. And she didn't, women are just busy. They just get busy. They don't realize that, like play, 4 weeks don't pass. So Baba never collect. And one of the things I told her was, don't neglect what, and I'm speaking to you, don't neglect what Esther used to catch the king. Don't neglect what Rachel used to catch Jacob. Don't neglect what Bathsheba used to catch David. Do not neglect it. You see, a woman has to be a combination of beauty and brains. Now, there's a level of, by beauty means relative. One of my good friends, Olu Bentane, let me tell you the story. I like tall girls. My friend Olu is very short. So one day Olu was gisting me about this babe. Said, man, you need to see this babe. This babe is so fine, blah, 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 blah. I said, is she tall? He said, yes. I said, how tall? He did like this. He went on top of us like this. But she was so beautiful to him. To me, the first thing, which is, you have to have, I'm 6'1". You must be close to me height-wise. You can't be a midget with me. It won't work. It doesn't mean in my life I've not found shorter women attractive here and there. But if I were to pick, I'll pick a taller woman. What do you like? What do you find? Now, guys, all of you listening to me right now, this practical class, close your eyes and put yourself in David's shoes. You've read enough Psalms. Put yourself in David's shoes. Do you know that David would have been on that, his balcony, and seen an ugly, shapeless woman bath, and he would have stoned her from that balcony? Can you get inside the house and go and bath inside the house? Do you know? Someone said, I thought you were a short guy. I'm far from short. I'm 6. Even taste buds is not short. I'm 6'1". She's there telling us how tall. How tall are you again? 5'10". So put yourself in David's shoes and think about what would you see in a woman batting that your kingdom will scatter. Make sure your wife has it. Think about it. Is it this one? I honestly don't really care about a woman being busty. I'm lucky that taste buds is, but I don't really. But that curve, you must get them. You must get them. That's me. Maybe because I'm Yoruba. Of course, women will age and eventually all things physical will fade away. There's always a new Miss Unilag every year. I say this all the time. But at least let me enjoy you for 15 years as my spec. And you'll be amazed. I've seen 60-year-old women that still retain their shape. And then the woman it's one thing for you to have the shape and now be a hoarder. For me to access my treasure, I have to start filling form, applying to embassy. That is also going to mess things up. So you've got to focus. You've got to have the physical. Now, don't go after a seductress, because as she's seducing you, remember that you don't have the power of David. Anybody that look David's wife anyhow, David say, you go cut his head. Like Solomon did to his brother Adonijah. Solomon had the power as king. You ask after Abishag. You don't have that power. So you need to be careful when you don't choose something that's too much, then you and the whole area will be sharing it, then you now problem. You don't need a transformer in your house, get a generator. Because that transformer, now you and estate go dey use am. And Fani Adubo. Now, if you have 3 women and the 3 of them are equally beautiful according to your spec, the 3 women are equally beautiful according to your spec. Now choose out of those ones, choose the one that is God-fearing, the one that has integrity, the one that is wise, the one that is smart, the one that is loyal, the one that's faithful, or the one that, you see, if you studied physics, there's what you call the line of best fit. When you have several points in physics, you are drawing. Who did physics? Who knows line of best fit in physics? So you see that you need to draw a line across all those parameters, but the parameters are not exactly aligned in such a way that I can. So what you do is you draw the line of best fit through all of them. So when the woman is dignity, some women will have integrity but no dignity. They love you, they loyal, but then they don't get shame. They already fight you anywhere, but they still love you. Now you will now sit and pick and choose. Do I need this? Can I? So when you are making let me tell you, all those men that married wise women, they ended up like David. One day will be one day, you'll be on your balcony, and what you just see is the curve of Bathsheba having a bat. And that's the end. Autant fouin. Let me ask you a question. What do you think made Queen Vashti lose the kingdom? The king called her to come and dance provocatively in front of him and his boys. They had all drunken wine and they were good. And she refused. So if he was replacing her, what do you think he was going to replace her with? Something frigid? So, guys, a woman is a package. Tomorrow we are going to do men. So all of you that are enjoying this, just know that tomorrow is another day. Tomorrow we are going to do men. Ah. Tomorrow, now men own what is in a man. This just the way we analyze this. We'll analyze it again tomorrow. Now, as a woman, you need to understand. You see, I support feminism in as my understanding of feminism is time is 10 p.m. My understanding of feminism is creating equal rights and opportunities for men and women. That's feminism to me, and I support that. I do not support women oppressing men. I do not support women trying to overthrow men. I do not. I do not support all those jokes. But you see, you can be a feminist and fight for equality, but know that your man is visual. Women are not as visual as men. I can't speak for women. I've read that women are not visual. Women have told me that they're not so visual, even though I don't believe it, because you'll be walking with a woman and they'll show one movie and then one fine young Indian boy will just come out and do nay and all. You say, ah. So they say they are not visual. I don't know. You're visual? Up to you. But I can tell you for a fact, I am a man. I have lived in a man's body for 45 years. I have friends who are men. Men are visual. I have had relations, physical relations with women whom I never remember their names. Oh yeah, in my time in the world. And what does all this mean? It means that as a man, you're vulnerable towards what you. I know many very beautiful women, but because of the anointing that God gave me, I don't fall for any woman. And I don't know how I was able to do it and how I've been able to do it this long. Uh, I just know that it's got to be God, because the feelings were there, always there all my life, and all of a sudden I don't have them anymore. But I know how I feel when I look at my woman. I know. Ask her. I enjoy looking at her. So the visual part of a man has not gone anywhere. And with brains, you can't get that. Now, I don't mean by beauty. Some people like lepa. I have a guy in my office. I don't want to mention it. He likes literally bone thin girls. I don't understand where that is from. Me, I'll not even look at a girl that is thin. Or what are you? What, do I even want to be picking my teeth? I'm sorry for those ladies who are thin. I love you, but you're not for me. And I'm sure I've met many women that will say I don't like fair guys, and that's you. That's your choice. So when I say physically beautiful, I mean your choice. You like thin, you like thick, you like big up, you like big down, you like big up and big down, or small up and big down. I personally, if I were to pick and choose, I would like medium to small up and big down. I like that pear shape if I were to pick and choose. But if I can't have that, I would like big up and big down. Good. I will big up and small down. I feel cheat inside that relationship. Make a no blow lie. The scriptures describe David as a man after God's heart. He was after God's heart. He still no fit comot eye for Bathsheba. Jacob wrestled with God and prevailed. He still no fit comot eye for Rachel. Solomon was the wisest man on earth. He no fit comot eye for Abishai. So we've got to understand and keep it real. Thank you so much, guys. Love you loads. It was a wonderful session. We're going to have a scripture session in the afternoon, and then we're going to have another session at night. And this time, we'll be talking to the guys. So if you're a guy, the night session is for you. And if you're a girl, because I don't know so much about guys, I need some of you ladies to prepare to give me a call, because you're going to talk about what you want in a man. So join us live on 99.3 Nigeria Info. The discussion is going to start there and hopefully end there. We started late on social media, but we're going to push everything there. So guys, take care of yourselves. If you have a man and he's visual, that's how men were. You be there reading Psalms in your hypocrisy, forgetting that the person that wrote Psalms, now woman, Tony, I. Be careful, guys. Take care. God bless. Love you all. See you tomorrow.